Hello there, everyone. Welcome back. It's now time for the final game of the day. It's going to be Loyal versus Viral, and this is super important for Viral because they were deducted 3 points earlier on in the season from the competitive ruling. Every point matters for them right now because they are still in contention from getting into that top 3.
And that's really going to be their goal right now, is just break forward. I mean, that's everyone's goal right now, is get into those playoffs, get to where they want to be, and honestly be happy with their positioning as we see the bans coming out. Serket, Ganesh taken off the board immediately, which, again, nothing too surprising out of this.
Yeah, you're not going to be seeing too much shenanigans. Both of these teams definitely a lot more grounded, a lot more solid. They do have their own individual styles, but for the most part, we ain't going to be seeing the Dracula V stuff. So this is going to be much more regular Southeast Asian Smite than what we saw from that first game.
So this is just one of those ones where, again, like you had said, they're a little more typical, I want to say, than some of the other SEA teams, as we see against Seoul, Osiris. Raven locked in immediately, being favored heavily these last 2 games. And really, right now, it is looking, I mean, kind of standard issue. Raven has that flex to him, whether or not he's going to the solo or the jungle. We've seen him mainly in the jungle lately, so I'm going to believe that's going to be the way it leans. Is Sun Wukong going to be locked in on the other side to kind of deal with that, either solo or jungle? I mean, honestly, Wukong's going to be good in the solo lane no matter who he's against, so that's going to be a solid pick for Viral there.
Yeah, I imagine that Ravan's going to Apex. Apex does like dabbling in his Ravan. So Eclipse much prefers the Bellona, so I imagine that's how it's going to swing, so we'll see how that actually ends up going. If the Bellona does end up coming out, though, Sir Eclipse, he has played other gobs other than Bellona, but he loves the god. Team Viral, though, not going to try and do any bans. Ganesh and Osiris were the bans before. Called it. There's the Bellona. Sun Wukong and Thoth were the picks for Viral. There's their comfort picks for Rampage, and I imagine Rack and Zero, respectively. But, oh, this was unexpected. A Cupid by Loyal. I am very curious about this.
So, just rechecking. I don't see anyone other than Soul getting taken away from down there. That Cupid could be mid, that Cupid more than likely going ADC, and picked up this early on. It's kind of just a brave move by Loyal here. Not entirely sure what their strategy is. I mean, not a bad hunter when it comes down to it. Has a lot in his kit to really help his team out, but not the best 1v1 hunter when it comes down to it. Against a Chiron, potentially, although I have heard so many people tell me Chiron is just a better mid right now than he really is as an ADC. It's going to be an interesting matchup
like Neath, right,
coming out. Yeah, when it comes down to it, just more ability base.
Yeah, we'll see how that actually ends up happening. Now, Seek does have a Cupid. I want to focus back on the Cupid for a moment. This is going to be super interesting to me because right now, Viral have 3 gods who have heavy reliance on mobility, either for offense or for keeping themselves alive. And we're seeing Viral now opting to get rid of characters that could lock them down even further. Scylla and Nox. Loyal going to want to get rid of a easy jungler for Rack and Zero, while we're going to be seeing the Terra ban to stop Noctis Poi from grabbing the Terra. Now, of course, Noctis Poi adores his Amaterasu support, and that is wide open, and Viral have the next picks.
That's going to be what they're just patiently waiting on with the, I mean, a lot of mid target, a lot of jungle target throughout this game so far, but the Amaterasu going to be locked in there. And that's looking like, again, we're going to be seeing 2 double warriors here. So we're going to actually more than likely see that Wukong go into the jungle, and he has a lot of potential to be, I mean, just continue being the nuisance. As actually on the other side, we're seeing the triple warrior being picked up. I haven't seen that in a long time, but with Odin being grabbed there, that has to be the support. I don't see Odin going much anywhere else, but that's going to lock them in with 4 physical, which they can make work, but at the same time, some strong builds on the side of Viral can make that do a little bit worse overall.
Loyal's got Team Circles, Gore. Are we on console? Is SEA ever console league and we weren't told? But yeah, this is like the old school circle composition, minus the Bellona and the Ravan. But Cupid Odin Zeus is what you ran way back in the day if you wanted one dude really dead, outside of purification beads being used. So Team Viral are going to see that, all right, we may need some extra mobility, going to draft the Janus as their final pick. And that taken into consideration, the cripple is going to be super. Where's everyone going, though? Actually, that's a Thoth and a Janus.
You get 2 mages and 2 warriors. And we're getting some Dracula V level play.
We should explain something. Right, okay, so the one ridiculed is the one noob. For some reason, he decided to change his name, but so that is the one noob on Viral. If everyone knows who he is, he's the solo for Viral. But minions have spawned. Janus, I didn't know noob had a Janus.
It's entirely possible that Noob at the beginning of the season didn't have a Yanis, but after playing against Dracula V for so long, decided maybe I need to get a Yanis in my god pool. It seems to work out for him. Let's see if I can make it work out. And right here, they're locking it in.
He's gone blink.
Okay, I can't explain that one for you. I can explain the Yanis. I've seen it work, but I can't go into the blink. I don't know what that one's about. I mean, I guess he can get aggressive. He has portals to get out. He has his ult eventually to get out. There's something in his mind. He's gonna do something with it, and I'm waiting for it.
At this point, I'm just grilling you for information because I got no bloody clue. Maybe he just wants to go for a very mobile Yanis, you know, blink into portals. The portals do start from, like, your chest together, so if you point blank it, it's a guaranteed hit. So maybe that's what he want to go for, but I am stretching Kayfabe very hard. Just how Apex's life bar is getting stretched pretty heavily if he's not careful.
All right, right now actually going to be getting aggressive. Paradiddle going to be able to get the slowdown. Rakuin 0 going to get caught out. Some charges down onto him. Detonate not available as he's still only level 1. Autos is all it takes, though. And Apex is going to be able to get first blood, but I figured it out. I know at least the one thing I would want to use this for. If he ults from solo lane directly horizontal, like through the Fire Giant Pit, through Portal Demon, through to the Gold Fury, gets the mid lane, blinks across the wall, portals through a wall, he's setting the world record for how fast he can go across the map.
Oh, God, I'm having a headache now. It's like, 1, well, that's unnecessary. Athena and Apollo exist. 2, why? So, on that tumultuous note, Loyal now going to be grabbing themselves the big elemental, the big little... What was the name that... The fire dudes. Yeah, the fire dude is what F. called them. The big fire dude of the fire elemental area. And now Kami going to be thinking about himself. Rakin 0 going to be thinking about his own life here. Gets bursted pretty heavily. He does still have to be wary about the Zeus bounces if it clips Noctis Koi or any of the minions.
All right, now Paradiddle looking to try and get as aggressive as he can, although taking a lot of poke, and like you had mentioned, this is kind of the kill lane, what we used to see back in the 2-1-2 days, for anyone who might not remember, back in 2012, early 2013. Odin Zeus is the kill lane, and Odin Zeus is going to be a great combo. Ult, and you lock everyone down. That's going to force, more than likely, going to force a Phantom out for a Relic, but right now, with no one having that on the side of Viral, that's going to be a big opportunity for Paradiddle to try and get some kills for his team. No one on their team, unless they go up against a wall, has the ability to get on out of there, except for Wukong and that ult. And ultimately, if they can burst that one down before, or at least taunt it out, they should be able to pick up some kills with that combo.
Yeah. The Phantom Force could be quite nice. The Phantom is going to be nice for a second reason as well. The damage reduction is going to be very much welcome with that. Of course, now with damage reduction being moved to Phantom Veil primarily as a relic, because Shell now provides you with the shield and then the block stacks when you upgrade it. The damage reduction is going to be especially nice for anyone on Viral, because Loyal right now has a lot of characters who do a lot of block burst damage between Odin Dive, Zeus Detonate, or the Cupid Heart Bomb, let alone Bludgeon or Ravan using his Piranha Onslaught. Percentage damage reduction is going to be super welcome.
Right now, I'm just looking at the way that the teams are farming. So again, with this new patch, one of the things that got adjusted was kind of the experience, the gold that you would get out of the jungle. Which camps are going to be more prioritized? And actually, we see the mid camps being high priority right now for a lot of these teams. Noctis going to get rooted down. No damage going to get thrown down. Chain Lightning going to be able to get some damage out, and the Detonate going to apply that a little bit stronger. But there's going to be the cage, and Shiz going to get caught out in all of it. There's going to be the ults coming through. Finally, Judgment going to miss, and Shiz ultimately going to fall. Kami gets credit for that, but Paradiddle trades his life out.
1-for-1 so far, multiple ultimates used. The only ultimate still available will be Sir Eclipse's Eagle's Rally. He is in the neighborhood now of the rotating, but Rakan 0 needs to figure out his exit from the neighborhood, otherwise he's going to fall to Loyal. Apex getting the kill credit. Ridicule goes through the wall. Hi, how you doing? Does a little love tap with the Vortex and then immediately leaves. I guess we figure out why he's using the blink.
It's get in, get out. He doesn't have to use his portals aggressively. He can use the blink in and then use his portals to get on out of there. Makes him just loose enough that he never is going to really get locked down unless a stun comes out at the perfect time. And really, when it comes down to it, the only person able to get that, or maybe a cripple comes out before he can get into the portal. But ultimately, they're not going to have enough of that here. And one Ridicule actually going to be using his ult just to get away there, almost taken down, but going to be able to live to see another day as the speed buff looking to get taken away. Loyal ultimately controlling this jungle.
Rampage just gave Paradiddle the rope to hang himself, uses the evade and punish to bait in Odin, bait in Paradiddle, stuns him under the tower, and then immediately the follow-up from Rackenzero in Tiger form kills him off. That was really nicely played by Rampage, keeping his cool under heavy pressure.
Evening up the kills almost. 3-2 is going to be Loyal. Still in the lead, and they still are farming just a little bit more efficiently as of right now. And they've been able to take away some of the jungle from Viral, which is what's going to give them that little bit of extra burst. But we haven't seen as big a fight kind of break out since that last one, like you said. A nice play coming out from Rampage, and that's kind of what we need to see him do. And the same kind of story from what we had in a couple games, where if one mid laner is starting to fall behind, in this case, Rampage was the one that was slowly but surely kind of taking away with the abilities and with Kami being able to pick up some kills early on. If he falls behind, that opens up that lane for Loyal to just wander across with no problem. Keeping him ahead and keeping him at least around to be able to make some plays and get some assists on it is going to at least allow them to kind of stalemate this lane and keep it as dangerous as it could be for anyone on Loyal trying to cross over.
Yeah, Loyal gonna have to look both ways before crossing the proverbial street, or the actual lane. And that's definitely gonna be hard because of the ward vision, like you mentioned. But warding has been something which has been either heavily prioritized by some teams or completely neglected by everyone. It's rare you see a game in Southeast Asia where both teams are warding very heavily. We are seeing the remnants of it here. Both teams have a decent number of wards, but Loyal definitely have the high percentage majority. You know, look at the map, it's lit up in blue. And that's going to help them, especially for Paradiddle judging his jumps over the walls.
And that also gives them a really good notice of where exactly, like, any rotations are going to get caught out because of the ward placement they have. If we see Chiron making it over, he gets caught by a ward. If we see Thoth making it over, he gets caught by a ward. We see Yanis making his way over, caught by a ward. Like, every single movement they have is going to get in Rampage, going to get caught down. Actually, that Aegis going to let him live a little bit longer, but ultimately going to fall. Kami gets the kill, and now Kami's getting aggressed on. Noctis is going to be right there, and it looks like Ridicule is in a position to potentially go after him. Actually, the shots from Chiron are going to be the main target, but not going to connect enough, not going to be able to find a kill.
One thing in these fights you've always got to keep in mind, there's the permanent speed boost that Noctis Boy is going to want to provide. He'll want to use the power boost occasionally, yeah, but the speed boost is primarily what makes Amaterasu so nice to have. Of course, having the dazzling offense, the old Guan Yu ultimate, super nice, as well as the other various bits, but Shiz going to be wishing for Noctis with Puppet Speed ultimate now because he can't get up away fast enough doing the three-man gank from Team Loyal. Noctis Boy pops said dazzling offensive, hit with the heart bomb, two-man stomp, but Apex gets himself the double kill, diving the tower, might even go for thirds while protecting Paradiddle with the 10-hand Shadow Fist.
All right, now Wukong doing his best he can to get in there. Rampage with the rotation going to be able to do a lot. Final Judgment being charged, is going to get the shot, hits too, and that's going to open him up for the kill. A beautiful stun right onto Sixa, not going to be able to get the kill, but he had turned that one around and to set it up. Raku and Zero, depending on where he goes, this rotation might be able to catch the Cupid out. Is looking for it, gets the slow, looking for one more hit, and he finds the kill. He does trade his life out for it, but that's screaming worth.
Loyal getting the 2 for 3 in their favor. And on top of that, getting themselves more than enough time for Solarclipse to steal the speed buff away. He's going to be able to drop that for anyone should they wish. That'll be gone in about 30 seconds. But now, Loyal have just made a statement. Hey, in elongated fights, any one of our guys could do work on you. Apex did so much in that fight. While before, the rest of his team was primarily doing a lot of the work. Apex protects Paradiddle, dives the tower multiple times, gets himself a triple. Jesus.
Just good play when it comes down to it right now. 4-3-1 is going to be the Wukong as he kind of pulls himself ahead. And again, being the nuisance that you expect to see out of a Wukong. 4-1-3 on the other side is Apex. And it's going to be very good as Rampage, again, caught out, a lot of damage being thrown down. Detonates his life away, and as it stands, even with the rotation coming out from the Yanis portals, nothing's going to save that mid laner, although Apex might be in a precarious situation, going to just be able to walk on out of there.
I feel like, Gore, that shout you made early on of Phantom Veil, it's probably going to be in the forefront of Viral's mind, because Rampage has been jumped 3 times now by Paradiddle, and has been caged and killed 3 times.
And honestly, when it comes down to it, Phantom's relatively worthwhile now too. It's not just, oh, we need to get rid of the Odin. It also gives you that knock-up immunity, which at this point it's not going to be really useful against this team, but it's still going to be a strong enough relic that I think it's going to be worthwhile, and really kind of cutting off the Odin and, like you said, cutting off that cage and giving them that escape route. None of them have the ability to leap out. None of them have the ability to get out of Shiz. Not going to be able to get out of that one.
So nice against semi-mobile characters. You apply the heart bomb. If they get away from you, they might be at worst mesmerized, at worst stunned. And plus the damage also follows them because it attaches to them. It can be super convenient against the Chiron especially as well, because you can heal at the same time he can heal with his passive. So now SEAIL's going to be able to help out in this fight. He does not have the Fields of Love available, so he can't contribute in that way, but he can contribute by healing up both his jungler and his solo lane, or sorry, his support, excuse me. Camparador will actually get the cage off though in time. Use his target.
Oh, he's going to be able to grab up with this. They should be able to get a kill there. He's already too very low. Rakuin going to go up onto the Somersault Cloud and let his decoy do a little bit of damage as the rest of the team looks to be kind of retreating. But Loyal's target's going to be the jungle there, and they're going to be able to grab that one, potentially go for a tier 1 as Ridicule getting bursted down, but the ult just in time.
And now, going through space will be Loyal's gold count, because they just grabbed themselves a tower. That's going to put the lead even further. If we observe the graphs here, 6,000 XP, 4,000 gold. Loyal consistently, steadily grabbing the lead, and a little dip down when Viral's able to grab a thing here or there, but Loyal are now going to take that lead and spike it, because they just nabbed themselves a gold Fury. Viral now are in a very precarious situation.
So when they announced that they were going to be adding sound cues for the Gold Fury and the Fire Giant, there was an argument of whether or not it was going to be worthwhile. But what we get to see right here is Viral using that sound cue appropriately. They hear it and they say, okay, well, Loyal's over there in the Gold Fury pit. Let's go ahead and grab this Portal Demon. They pick it up no problem, and they're able to kind of return that. And so while it does kind of detriment them, now Viral doesn't have the option of walking over there and feeling bad when they see that the Gold Fury has been taken. They do have the ability to make some plays like that, and that's going to be the beauty of having those global sound cues. And now with that going forward, they kind of trade those out, ultimately gold going in favor of Loyal, but they're going to be keeping that experience kind of stagnant from where it was. It's still kind of a steady pace rising for Loyal. They still have the lead, about 4,600 overall, 5,600 in the experience, but they are slowly but surely fighting back Viral.
Well, definitely won't help in terms of fighting Viral if they use Fields of Love and not get anything off of it. We just see Seek use it. That's not going to be of any availability in this upcoming fight. Portal Demon was grabbed by Viral. We're going to see focus now going to be shifting towards Rampage, who is very low on HP. He is moonwalking as fast as he can, but you can't avoid the holy wrath of Zeus. Through time and space went through, didn't clip into one, unfortunately, but it will allow the one Ridicule to maybe come help, but no, he's going to be busy split pushing for some reason. He needs to get back and help his team. Noctis Poise on his own, has to use nothing offensive, but he's 1 versus 3, about to be 1 versus 4, and the speed buff is not going to be able to help him. He drops to Loyal.
That actually leaves a Fire Giant pit wide open to Loyal if they want to. It looks like the team wants the objectives a little bit more, and I like this call. This is a good play. If you were me, you make the mistake. You try to go for the Fire Giant, you look at your team's levels, and you go, wait a minute, this is not something we should be doing. Even if you tank it properly, you're going to be sitting a little bit low. Going for the tower is still kind of risky as they are still low enough level. I mean, we're only 13 minutes in. They have 19 kills on the board, and with the lead they have, Apex right now is just going to try and immune, stay alive as best they can, but they're having issues getting just the tier 1 tower, and so they're going to go ahead and have to back off because of it.
I'm really... Okay, this sounds harsh, but I'm kind of disappointed in what the one Ridicule's judgment here. Because he threw that portal knowing his team needed help. He could have followed through and given his team assistance, but instead tries to do the whole Dracula V style of split pushing even to a proxy farm and trying to get their attention. But here's the issue. You do that when you're decently ahead because that gives your team a little bit of threat. You're going to see here, there is no threat being generated by Loyal in any way. The left side here, Shiz is just getting dove on by the majority of Loyal. Cage is going to be used to keep Rakan 0 under guard. He can't heal, has to leap out to receive any healing. Rampage now going to be dove on next. He is the next target on the hit list. Final Judgment going to be deployed, has to cancel it. He needs to evade until he can get his dash up, but no, he drops. And this is the thing with trying to do the Archipelago strat. You need to be ahead, and you can't do it if your team is getting beaten this badly.
So what we saw in that last fight, one thing that I just want to harp on is the glory of good shot calling, good follow through from the team, but the downsides, the negatives of the Odin cage combo with the Zeus. And that's just that you see, as the players do, Odin drops the cage, Zeus drops the ult. I love the dedication from the players that they have that call and no matter what, they follow through with it. But you get to see both of them not really do anything. The cage forces out the ult from the Wukong, but they don't get any damage from the Zeus ult. Now they have to wait even longer for that to be back up in order for it to apply anything, as it looks like Loyal is not going to have to worry too much about that as they back away through the jungle, clear up whatever they might be able to find. Gold Fury has about a minute on it. Portal Demon going to be about a minute 30 to 2 minutes there. And they still have the ability to be aggressive, but again, at 15 minutes, they have to be very careful with how they aggress.
Yeah, and that aggression is going to be helped primarily because in a lot of these fights, Viral has been very sparse. You can see it's another 1 versus X fight for Viral. A lot of their team is split up trying to get farm. You can see Ridicule trying to split push down this right side, get the tower down. He has got the tier 1 down. Rampage is going to push down, but this entire time, Loyal, as a holistic group, is able to push more effectively, quicker, and safer. Viral is going to have a hard time in a straight-up fight because they are so far behind. I can understand the logic for going for the farm. Am I wrong in ragging on Viral this hard for split pushes to try and get farm? Is there some sort of logic that I'm missing in this?
I think it would be a little bit more harsh if they had someone that was meant for split pushing, but the way they are is like you mentioned, they're trying to play that Dracula V style where you have this Yanis who goes and split pushes because for some reason Archipelago can make that work.
Why not this?
But when you look at the way that this is going for them, that's not the case. You don't have a true split pusher. And while he's able to drop shit and join the fight whenever he wants, when he's able to just throw that portal across the map and either join or save the team, we aren't seeing that. We aren't seeing it get used for that. One Ridiculed is just not really having the impact that you would want out of Yanis, especially in the solo lane. And this is kind of the example of why only certain players have accomplished making mages work in the solo lane, especially in the current meta, is just that you don't have the same impact as, say, your Bolognas, your Ravens, your Wukongs that we are seeing in this game have such a high impact. And on the other side, when you are just getting constantly caged and ulted down by a Zeus Odin, you just don't have much shots, but that's why you like to see the Yanis snipe across the map.
Very effective there. That's going to result in it. It looks like Racket Zero might have disconnected because he's running to a wall, so expect to disconnect momentarily. Noctis Poi, meanwhile, going to trapped inside the cage, allows Paradiddle to escape. One Ridicule tries to get aggressive with the flank, but Apex catches him off, tackles him to the ground, beats him up. Shiz, meanwhile, going to get turned into Tesco's brand lasagna, courtesy of Sir Eclipse. Rampage and Noctis Poi kind of just beating around the bush. Now, will actually end up killing Cammy using the evade and punish, but he's in a very precarious scenario. He can't fight Sir Eclipse because of the thorns, but more importantly, he got his head kicked in by a bludgeon.
I like the fallback immediately from Noctis. I like the calling coming out from Loyal there. They recognize Rampage as a higher priority target than this Amaterasu who is level 10, this Amaterasu who's falling behind, this Amaterasu who is not having the best game as a support, and overall, they make the call, go for the Thoth, get the damage dealer out of there. Of course, with the DC, it's a little bit unfortunate for Viral because they weren't able to have all 5 members really, truly fighting there. But ultimately, it's going to be Loyal just kind of picking up another set of kills. Although, with that cross-map snipe from Ridiculed as well as the kill onto Kami, it's not the worst-case scenario for Viral. They're still trying to keep up. They're just slowly but surely falling farther and farther behind. 3 for 2 every single time. Eventually, you end up losing about 6 people without any real contest.
Yeah, and that contested is a super important factor because Loyal are going to be able, they're going to have some kind of feeling of safety, of comfort almost. And that comfort could be something that Viral could capitalize on if they were a little bit closer in terms of that lead margin. If that lead margin was a bit smaller, Viral could catch Loyal with their pants down. But Loyal are almost to the point of no return, quote-unquote, you know, with 6,000 XP, 6,000 gold, another 4,000 off a good fight or 2, and Loyal will have this firmly in hand. Viral could still try for something. They are absolutely not out of the game yet. Do not rule them out. They are still a top team for the most part, but we're going to see how this fight actually ends up going here.
Portal Demon going to get picked up by Loyal and immediately into the fight. Somersault Cloud is going to be where the jungler goes for Viral, trying to keep himself alive. Noctis also going to be in a rough spot, but the Final Judgment going to be able to get some damage down, try to return the team into a position where they can fight is Rampage, but ultimately the level advantage is just so distinctly in favor of Loyal right now that they are having trouble getting anyone within kill range.
Yeah, and now Viral a little bit split up. Noctis Poi trying to get some farm for himself for the upcoming fight, but the fight has already started. They're already sparring against Rakan Zero. Rakan Zero gets completely singed by Kami's unholy lightning. Now Paradiddle going to be 1 versus 2. He pops the frenzy on himself. He is looking for blood. One ridiculed really can't. And this is just degrading further and further into this game, the quality of the game for Viral. And this makes me sad because this has kind of been a metaphor for how Viral has been this split. They started off one of the top teams, if not the top team in the split, and things have just gone downhill ever since. Although Sir Eclipse get picked up by Shiz. There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
And we're going to see the portals coming across, not going to be able to connect with anyone. We do have Cupid as well as Robin here to try and get aggressive onto Rampage.
Wow.
Although Apex doesn't need any help. He's going to be able to take that one down no problem by himself. And while we have a little bit of a lull, I want to say I am really digging the Zeus build right now, just because the Evolved Shaman's Ring, the new passive, plays so beautifully for how you want to play Zeus. Just because hit a god with an ability, they become debuffed. Throw out that Chain Lightning, you get the debuff. Then they take 10% additional damage from your subsequent abilities and basic attacks. You put the charges on there, so you're getting additional damage from your charges and the Evolved Shaman's Ring, and then you'd go ahead and throw out the Detonate, and you're just hitting them even harder. At this point, we are looking at a burst machine out of Kami, and he has been playing it very well, along with the Obsidian Shard and pretty much anything else he decides to pick up here. It is going to play beautifully, and so far we've already seen he's 8-1 and 6. It's obviously working out for him.
Shaman's Ring reminds me of a rune-forged hammer, but actually a good item. It's an item that can synergize so well with so many different gods because it helps scale and it works off the basics and the abilities too. We're going to see Paradiddle going after Noctis Poi and the rest of Viral on his own. Reinforcements are coming back in. Rampage fires the Last Judgment. Kami put onto critical HP. Going to jump back down. Rakan Zero going to try to get up the kill with the Summon Power, but he's still evading somehow. The ball's going to be used. It will actually end up killing him here. Apex now going to keep chasing. The rest of Loyal in the mid lane chasing away Viral, forcing the rout.
Kami is going to be the big target pickup right there, and it's going to be really big for Viral to be able to take him out and allow them to try and fight into this one. We do have a Phantom online. It's actually on the Thoth as well, just to put it on someone who's definitely going to be a high priority target for the Odin and try to keep him safe. Anyone who groups up with him will be able to get through that cage as well, but right now it's looking like that's going to be the job of one Ridiculed, who was trying to split push, but Paradiddle went back to kind of block him and at least save that tier 2, although it is painfully low.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a threat. One Ridicule, I'll give the man credit. I'll give Noob credit. He has been hammering away. He's been chiseling away at this lane, and it has been working out. There is soon going to be a hole to the Phoenixes. So, let's see how Viral is actually able to exploit it. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a problem. They can't even fight in these fights, let alone send one person off on their own while fighting to actually take advantage of the hole in the defenses of Loyal, because they are so decently far behind. The only person who is on the level curve, or the only two people who are on level curve, really, is Ridiculed and Rakan Zero right now. Loyal going to start up the fight near the Gold Fury, or at least feign it by popping the Fury, or sorry, popping the Frenzy, and then go for the Gold Fury.
Loyal going to be able to confirm that one. I thought for a second Viral was going to be able to take that one away from them, but we're going to see the cage get dropped down. Noctis now getting bursted away. Cupid going to get credit for that one. That's going to be a clean kill, clean pickup right there, as Loyal now looking to rush down the mid lane, looking for whatever they can try to find. And honestly, at this point, towers are going to be the name of the game. They don't need any other objectives. They still have 3 members with Fire Giant, and ultimately that should be enough to push it out. Ridiculed going to just get decimated.
Yeah, the one Ridiculed is going to get Ridiculed back to spawn. And another thing that's been kind of insidious here, look at the build. Toxic Blade being built by Seek. That's going to stop any kind of heavy healing from Braces or Lifesteal for Viral. Combine that with a Cupid, your sustain advantage goes through the roof for you and your team as a whole. Shiz avoids the bludgeon from Sir Eclipse just in time. The Phoenix, however, is going to see its inevitable demise.
And now I'm looking at Rampage on the map, split pushing the right-hand Phoenix, doing the best he can. And with the way Viral's playing, they're keeping Loyal locked in combat so they can't back. Rampage ultimately should be able to get this Phoenix. This is actually the opening. Earlier we were harping on them for split pushing, but this is the kind of play, this is the kind of strat you need to have. And using that wall beautifully to get that little bit of extra damage, he's actually going to be able to find the first Phoenix of the game all by himself.
And now it looks like Rampage is going to be thinking to himself, okay, I got the objective for my team. How do I get out of here? He's going to use the glyph to dash away, but that puts the dash on a decently hefty cooldown. 5 more seconds. He needs to be actually staying alive here. Eclipse going to try and go for him, but an Aegis plus teammates reinforcements him until the cage says, no, sir. You stay in this bad inclement weather. Cammy gets himself a double, looking for the triple potentially. Noctis, Poi. Oh, no. The only thing that could comfort him there is anime gifs on Twitter. Triple kill for Cammy.
What can break your team finally split pushing, having that ability and getting a Phoenix? It's immediately losing that team fight to the same team who did get your mid Phoenix. I missed that one earlier as that happened. And now with 5 of them strong, they don't even need the fire gen at this point. It still has a little under a minute until it respawns. They're going to be able to get the last tower standing for Viral. A nice big chunk of gold. Look to spend that, back away, come back into this next fight not only stronger, but ready to go for the Fire Giant, for the Portal Demon, and to ideally defend these tier 2s that are getting split pushed down by the Yanis and the Wukong.
Yeah, and I can understand going for split push, get some more towers going. But there comes a point where maybe they want to go for something like that. Maybe we'll see... I don't want to mention this. Did you see the portal?
I was not watching Ridiculed.
I wasn't watching either. We were informed something was a bit funky there. I'm going to go back and watch the tape afterward. So, for the meantime, I want to see what happens with Loyal actually going for an authoritative push. Because at the same time, Viral have gotten some progress in pushing down towers, but Loyal, when it comes to the inevitable Fire Giant fights that we're going to be seeing here, there has to be some give because Viral is still so heavily behind.
Well, right now, Viral does have a little bit of an advantage. They still have their 2 big long-range steals that they have potential to steal this Fire Giant away, whereas Kami loses his ult just trying to get aggressive there, but Fire Giant getting low, going to get bursted down. Loyal going to confirm that one. Unfortunately for Ridiculed, he threw out that ult just a little bit too early, and Rampage not in the neighborhood to try and throw out his and get the steal. They're just going to give that one up to Loyal now with 5 members with Fire Giant. 2 Phoenixes left. 1 possibly going to respawn before they're able to get to it. So I expect to see them have to go for that one. But ultimately, they're in a good position to try and close this game out. 26 minutes in. It's 29-9.
20 more kills for Loyal, but those kills won't matter too much once you get into the inevitable siege scenario. And Southeast Asia Gore kind of has a problem with overextending sieges. There has been a bit of a trend where teams will try and push, they'll get pushed back, they'll push again, push back, and they'll keep going backwards and forwards like an executive toy. So I hope that Loyal is able to buck that trend and get the quick 1-0 off maybe 1 or 2 pushes, because the longer they aren't able to actually get the win by pushing in, the more time Viral has to reorient themselves and maybe start pushing back.
And that's going to be the big thing for Viral here, is they need to hold out as long as they can. They want the most successful defense that we have seen, and really when it comes down to it, they're going to have a rough time of it just because they've already lost 1 Phoenix. And even though it's about to respawn, it looks like it's going to get burst down just with the grouping from Loyal. There's no way this bird is going to live too long here, and it's going to get taken down with just a few autos. Now they're going to be able to turn their eyes onto the right-hand side of the map, which seems to be where they want to push this aggression. Left-hand side might just be a little bit too far away for them to feel comfortable. And plus, this is the side that their own Phoenix was taken down on, so they want to stop not only those fire minions from spawning, but give themselves some fire minions to push back. But Ridiculed is doing something we've already seen once this game.
Still going!
They're going for the split push still.
Alright, it's a one-man base race versus the entirety of the enemy team, who's drastically ahead of you and has a Fire Giant buff. Let's see how this goes. Loyal going to be starting up on trying to take out the right side Phoenix. Will be done successfully. Mid's going to be the next target, or it's going to be the majority of Viral. Multiple AoEs connects flush with the enemy. Viral going to be routed back to their own fountain, or to death potentially. Rackets are getting very aggressive. Phoenix on the left side of Loyal's base will get eliminated by Ridicule, so he might be opening up some space for Viral to get a little bit of a reprieve, because Loyal might have to go back and defend against the fire minions. But the damage is going to be way higher on Viral's base because Loyal's about to take the 3rd Phoenix.
That's going to be half health going down even faster. The shots coming out from Chiron trying to get whatever damage he might be able to find, but it's not going to work out. Apex going to get aggressive. The rest of the team looking to just kill off that 3rd bird, and they're going to be able to find it no problem. Rampage is going to get caught out, burst down. Not necessarily dead just yet, but they've opened up the Titan completely exposed, and we saw Ridicule not able to get that 2nd Phoenix he was going for. He rotated over to the right-hand lane to try and get something. Got a little bit of damage, but ultimately was not able to kill it. Now he's back to his team. Is going to be able to get some damage down, but a lot getting returned onto them. Rampage off the board.
Rampage is completely gone. Never even existed. He's level 15, 2 and 9. He is going to be a squishy Thoth, who Thoth gets away with it by having that Imperial... Oh, paradiddle! That cage was nasty! But the Phantom Veil buying Viral enough room to immediately get clotheslined by Apex. Down goes Shiz. Loyal, though, making a bit of a passive play, moving backwards. Viral going in, though. They still want to keep fighting. This could be a bad call. They need to extend this fight out long enough to where they can get a kill or two to stop Loyal for going for the win or for the Fire Giant, potentially.
Shield so far being good for Paradiddle, able to make him out. We're going to see Cupid fall down, though, unfortunately for them. But now we have seen Kami rotate in, as well as Sir Eclipse making their rotation right back in here. And going to be able to get enough damage to scare Viral away, not wanting to fight into this anymore. And honestly needing to defend their base from the 3 waves of fire minions that are going to be spawning. At this point, they have at least their right-hand lane going to be, their left-hand lane going to be handling just a couple of those fire minions since they got the Phoenix in return. But ultimately, it's just not looking great for Viral in this position. This is not where you want to be standing. You do not see a lot of 3 Phoenix comebacks.
Yeah, that kind of nonsense can happen. I'm just going to call it nonsense at this point. If the comeback does happen, it is absolute nonsense. But it has happened in the past. There is precedence. I believe back in Split 1, it ended up happening in an Archipelago Viral game, funnily enough. That was actually one of the closest games I've ever had in SEA. But let's see if Viral can actually recreate the success from that game in this one against Loyal. Viral is a drastically different team from that first split. So, at the same time, Loyal, however, have massive advantages in almost all departments in terms of builds, levels here. There is the potential for them to throw. There is history for that as well. They have done huge amounts of throws in 1 or 2 games in the past. I hope they don't end up doing that in this game.
It's one of those just few plays. If you can make a baseball player jealous when you're playing Smite, that is not a good sign for your team. But as it stands right now, Fire Giant going to be started up, Loyal going to be getting aggressive on the him, and Noctis is in the neighborhood, Rakuin in the neighborhood, Chiron in the neighborhood, looking for the damage, the shots. Viral actually take it away. They get their Phoenix back. They're going to continue fighting Noctis, doing his best to get away. Dazzling Offense going to come out, trying to get the stun, just trying to stay alive. But they have 5 members. Honestly, that is worth Trajan support for that any day of the week.
Any day of the bloody year, Cole. That was fantastic for Viral. They might have just put a nail in the coffin that was that initial guaranteed push from Loyal. If they got that Fire Giant, they would have just been able to full-on charge through the entirety of Viral's base. But now Viral have just clawed themselves a little bit of reprieve. The Phoenixes are starting to come back, and because of the new patch, they do come back in a bit of a healthier state. Do keep that in mind. So, there is more of a chance for Viral to actually defend these if they fight properly and if they don't get greedy and do any kind of split push nonsense. They need to be a holistic unit right now.
But with the split pushing they've been doing, they actually have themselves set up for the perfect opportunity. Their Phoenixes, if they can keep them alive, use this Fire Giant, win the next team fight, they have the ability to go through, burst down the Phoenixes for Loyal. They are right back into this game. They are down right now by 12,000 gold. They are down so much, and yet they have found a way to be essentially tied with Loyal. They're still behind. They still are the ones that are on the back footing, but they are the ones that have the ability to make it right back into this game. One play is all they really need to turn this one on its head. And Loyal, they have to play the next one to the note. They cannot make a single mistake or else Viral will eat them apart.
Viral are going to send one Reticule to try and be the split push force. Loyal going to go straight down the middle. It's going to be a bit of a harder fight because they don't have any minion support, because Viral do have a very good amount of wave clear. Yannisol going to be used. Actually end up clipping anyone. Loyal's is going to lose the Phoenix, but can they actually end up killing anyone here? Loyal is very damaged. Viral is going to look for the counter-offensive. Zeusol going to be used as a zoning measure to cause Viral to have to walk around it or face heavy damage. Stone of Foul. I want to mention this as a side note. Sir Eclipse, you're getting very, very greedy. He's going to die, but allow his team to get away just in time unless one Ridicule can get there to intercept. No. But as I was saying, Stone of Foul here, Gore, being picked up by Cammy. They do not want Rampage to do absolutely anything here.
This is one of those, another little play as we get to see the tier 2 tower fall in mid. Viral right there needed a couple more kills, honestly, to be able to try and close this one out, but that is a good position for them to be in. They push down the lane where they have fire minions now going to be pouring towards their base. They get another fight. The cage has been dropped. Paradiddle taking a lot of damage in return for all of this not being able to get as much drop down onto him. Rampage going to be able to pick that kill up with the shot through the wall, and now they have the ability to continue chasing. Chain Lightning, though, going to cause some disruption, force the Aegis out of Shiz, but it still leaves Viral in the position to continue their aggression, and they want these Phoenixes.
You know how I was talking earlier on Gore about how potentially Loyal could throw and Viral has a bit of a thing for comebacks? That was meant to be a hypothetical! That was not actually meant to be a thing! Viral's now doing it! I am super impressed right now by Viral's play, and a little disappointed by Loyal right now, if entirely frank. It looks like a pause is going to come out because Rakan Zero has disconnected again.
And unfortunately for them, the Wukong going to be kind of taken down. And again, without him in the fight, you don't want to deal with anything. Even if they didn't have a pause available, that would be something that I would immediately call the team to fall back there. As it stands, though, they were able to push down. They got the tier 2 tower. They weren't able to get any more Phoenixes, but Fire Minions did push down and take that left-hand side again. Now they're kind of poised to go steal some jungle buffs, potentially go for a Gold Fury if they really want to. Right now it's sitting 4 Gold Furies in favor of Loyal to none on Viral, but Gold at this point is slowly but surely becoming not necessary, although they still need it on the side of Viral, because when you look at Thoth, he is still working as hard as he can to get a full build. Hasn't even gotten the full 5 items online yet, so possibly something they want to look at, but ultimately the Fire Giant buff and anything that can give them a distinct advantage in fighting up against Loyal right now is what Viral wants. And when it comes down to it, that seems to be their best bet of just defending their lane. They want to make sure no Fire Minions, nothing is going to cause them any trouble, and they're pushing up, and I really like the call.
The turtle strats seem to be giving Viral a good bit of maneuver. Oh god, excuse me. They seem to be giving them a good bit of room to maneuver. And I want to see how they actually use that in the next upcoming fights, because Loyal has been desperate to get into a full fight and push for the win. You know, they have been ahead for so long in this game, they've probably gotten a little too comfortable. We were talking about the whole idea of getting a bit too comfortable earlier on. That might be coming to fruition now. So if Viral can bait Loyal into a bad fight around a Fire Giant, as we might even see here, this is where Viral could turn this around, because Ridiculed has still been chipping away alongside Rampage at the Phoenixes of Loyal consistently.
And because of this play and the style, this is something that we would expect to see, honestly, out of Archipelago. We've been kind of comparing it so far, but that's kind of where we see Dracula V play that role when he takes it like a Yanis or a Hades even to the solo lane. He does have an impact on team fights, and we've seen Ridiculed have some impact, although not as much as we could. But the big thing is he's able to be in a fight, cause a little bit of disruption, go over, push down a lane. Even though he's a mage, even though it's mage basics, they're still going to be hitting hard enough, obviously, to go and split push down the towers. And now we're looking at this point where either team is really up in the air. Viral's lost their Phoenixes just a little bit more than Loyal. But when it comes down to it, that's not going to change much when the Fire Giant buff is around. Whichever team's belt is able to get it. And with the last steal, Viral has to be feeling themselves. They are ready and waiting for this next one to start.
So I'm a little happy, actually, we're getting this many pauses right now, because it gives us a moment to really sort of look at things in the entire picture, I should say, in the calm before the storm. Because let's have a look at the build specifically. There's a couple of optimizations that could be made. Things need to be finished off. I don't know why Paradiddle's still rocking the Talaria's boots. Maybe he just wants the movement speed to get into the fight, but I feel like he'd be much better served grabbing himself a reinforced Greaves, because that would give him a bit more protections and CC reduction, more importantly, because Viral has a lot of CC that can be affected by CC reduction. There's, you know, no knockups, there's nothing like that. It all slows, stuns, that kind of thing. The stuff that can be affected by CC reduction, plus the protections is always going to be welcome, because as an Odin, you're an ult bot at this point. You're not going to be doing heavy damage. Now, it looks like for the most part, unfortunately, 1, Gore might be dead. 2, Loyal's Titan's going to be under attack here because one Ridiculed Phoenix push was successful earlier on, and now he's going back for seconds, which means now Loyal has to consider their position here. They need to be a little bit wary on where they step. because if they end up throwing the fight, this game is over. We're going to game 2 with Viral somehow getting the 1-0. But the through time speed is going to be good. Going to clip a couple of people. The Zeus was used as a countermeasure to zone. Racket Zero kind of low on him and his decoy. Odin Cage used, but the Phantom Veil going to be used instead. 1-for-1 trade. Rampage able to pick up the Cupid. It's deaths galore here. 2 for 2. And now Noctis Poi going to be looking to chase down Apex. He does have the speed aura to give his team the mobility required. Rampage burst down Paradiddle, looking for more. Sir Eclipse has the Thorns to try and do some work here. His next target's going to be Shiz. Apex blinked him with the follow-up. The training exercise used to give him a little bit of room, and the Masterful Shot as a final little parting gift.
And that was the fight that Viral needed right there. That was the fight that they needed to be able to come ahead 2 for 3 overall, but they still have to defend themselves. They have to one more wave of fire minions, I believe, coming down, but they stopped the fire giant from getting picked up, and they have managed to put this in just a good enough position that they can show they can fight over this. And with their ultimates slowly but surely going to be coming up, I expect to see them very, very soon potentially stealing it away or just using it to confirm it for themselves, although right now they have to wait just a little bit. I don't think they should fight without Raccoon Zero. They could afford not having Ridiculed around, but I believe the Wukong is almost just integral to the way that their playstyle is right now. They need that disruption.
Yeah, Noctis Poi has been doing well with disruption himself. Let's not discount him out entirely. Noctis Poi is extremely adept support. He is extremely nasty. For as much as I rag on him, you know, the Twitter stuff, blah, 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 his Amaterasu can be nasty. He's 08 and 7, but he's the sacrificial kind of support. He doesn't give a rat's backside if he ends up going 0 and 12. As long as he can use his speed auras appropriately to get his team into position to get kills, and he can use his dazzling offensive to undermine the enemy's effectiveness, he's happy, he's content, and so far he has been doing that. Rampage has been able to get off a little bit more in fights because he's been able to speed them up. Shiz has been able to get out of fights a bit more because they've been sped up. And of course, let's never discount the Power Aura. The Power Aura, which is the flip side to that ability, the Divine Presence, gives you a decent bit of power. It gives you, it's flat power, it's up to 35 at max rank, but still, that 35 is always going to be welcome.
As we're going to see Viral come back into this, they were able to just burst down and take that Fire Giant now in their favor. 5 members are going to have that one right around their belt, and they're going to be able to effectively control the next set of pressure for the game. This is what was, I mean, back and forth. Viral, or Loyal, I mean, full control of the game. No reason they should lose, and now we're looking Viral in the same position. They have less than half the kills of Loyal. They are still behind so much gold behind themselves, but they are still the ones in position and poised to try and win this. They have 1 Phoenix down, Fire Minion still going down this left-hand side. 1 Phoenix that they have taken before, so it's going to be at a lower health and easier to kill down. And then the last Phoenix is ultimately one they don't really need if they have the other 2 down. If they can win a fight off of it, they can close out the Titan. Honestly, Viral are looking really good, especially for a 40-minute game.
And the new patch brought some new relic stuff, right? Horrific Emblem got changed up. It now does a damage reduction debuff onto the enemy, which is going to be super useful if Racken Zero can get into the enemy's ranks, because Horrific Emblem has a very small radius to cast, so he needs to get right in the middle of the enemy to actually do it. But Loyal are being very spread out. They're taking a more wide-out formation, and it's working. Oh, ridiculed, you absolute beauty! Starting off the fight by killing off Cupid. Noctis Poi gonna try and help his team out of the cage with the Phantom Veil. Now Viral, that was the green light for go, murdering the Cupid. 60 seconds on the clock. The Cupid ultimate is not available for that period of time. Good Eagles rally from Sir Eclipse, gonna buy his team a better time to regroup from the pounding they are taking from Viral. The Titan's under threat. Second Phoenix down. Viral's gonna be looking for a third.
Big play. Phoenix is gone. Mid Phoenix getting targeted down. Bursted around, going to go down as well. As Fire Minions on the left-hand side should ultimately be able to pick up that left-hand Phoenix as it did just respawn, but they just need a couple more kills. Raccoon Zero going to be taking some damage. Rampage, though, going to take out Kami. That's going to be the big one for them. And the opener really coming into the base. Apex is low. The base is going to be able to heal them up in the fountain, but the Titan is dead, and that is all that matters to Viral.
Wow.
What a
comeback, Batman! Viral playing their socks off that game. That is very commendable by them. They could have, I mean, I gave up on them if I'm entirely frank. They were put behind for a lot of that game, for at least 25 minutes. Loyal was just absolutely demolishing them, but little by little, Viral started poking away here, poking away there. They lost the fights, but they were taking the structures. And then, after 1 or 2 times where Loyal had bad fights, where Viral was able to engage properly, they end up with the holistic cut with just no, I keep using the word too much. They just with an amazing comeback. And with that, that game went on for 40 minutes. So we're going to have a 5-minute break so me and Gore can have a drink of water, and then we'll bring you the final game of the day.